So we're here in Pattani province down in southern Thailand right now, basically scouting locations for our evangelistic film that we're making for the Pattani Malay and Southern Thai Muslims. The film's purpose is to share the gospel of Jesus in a culturally relevant way for these people. We are producing the first film ever made in their heart language, and our goal is to have it look like they made it themselves. Out of 3 million Pattani Malay Muslims, there are only a few hundred known Christians. At Create International, we are focused on reaching out to groups like this one. Our schools train students from around the world to learn how to make cross-cultural evangelistic films. They have been well equipped for the job and are now putting their training into action on the field. Although it's not very glamorous, some of the most significant and important work takes place prior to our production. We have project partners that need to be identified, finances that need to be secured, a great deal of cultural research, and a tremendous amount of pre-planning. This means our executive producers and our producers are making countless calls and emails. However, by the time the team shows up for production, we are well prepared to begin shooting. Every film we produce starts first with a lot of prayer. We seek God for cultural bridges to share the gospel in a way that is meaningful to this specific people group. God always answers these prayers, and we develop a script based on a culturally relevant concept from our extensive research. We further develop the script with a cultural advisor from a Southern Thai Muslim background. Our preliminary script incorporates a story about the prodigal son that is very relevant to life in these fishing villages. Our scripts are then fine-tuned by working directly with the translators and cultural advisors. They ensure that the details of our plot fit within the local culture. Then they translate the script into the local dialect so it's readily interpreted for the actors. Here in southern Thailand, our cultural advisor and our project partner help us find the best locations possible and to cast the best actors. Because as a ministry, we focus so heavily on telling the gospel in a culturally relevant way, it is key that our locations be authentic and our actors indigenous. We've been blessed by the opportunity to work directly with the local imam who helped us cast local villagers. Once the script is translated, we usually secure all of our locations and cast all our roles in 3 to 4 days. Then production begins.
Scene 10, lines 30 to 34, take 1.
We continue the translation process with the actors while on the set. Directing cross-culturally is quite a challenge and takes a great deal of patience. Often, what seems obvious in one culture can be quite obscure to the other.
They can drink their tea quickly and then just get up.
So a lot of time is spent communicating with actors to guarantee that their proper motivations are achieved on film. This is what prompts you to just start praying for him. You know prayer would be helpful right now.
แล้วก็ทางฮานาบีก็เลยแบบอธิษฐานก่อนที่จะอธิษฐานเผื่อซักการีแล้วก็เพื่อที่
I watched you guys practicing a position for prayer.
ก็บอกว่าเขาได้ดู2 คนแบบฝึกซ้อมแบบการอธิษฐาน
So that was great.
ก็เยี่ยม
Yum. We are grateful for the insightful feedback of our local actors who often make our Western script concepts more appropriate in their local contexts.
said my daughter they will just say the name Rabia.
Yeah, that would be okay. Yeah, good. Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention. We would want to know that you would want to make that change.
ก็บอกว่าขอบคุณที่ถามก็บอกว่า
This process also introduces the gospel to the actors. In past productions, the translators and actors are often the first to become followers of Jesus because of the opportunity to hear the gospel story over and over again. It's always a thrill to see our local actors and teammates get excited about Jesus. And Okay.
We're in our truck set right now, driving towards Hat Yai with our Muslim friends. Action!
Sometimes the situation forces us to pay careful attention to the security of our cast and crew. In this film, some of our actors are actually local Muslim who decided to be a part of our film. So we want to make sure that they understand the film content before they commit to us. And we try to have our set as a low profile as possible, and also we have to be ready always to answer why we are here and what we're doing. We're so amazed this year on how God opened many doors for us and helped us to build friendship, like the Imam who helped us this year to find actors and find location, and it was a great help for us to open the village for us.
This production, like many others before, is an opportunity for God to show off. Occasionally we will lose actors and locations at the last minute, which plays havoc with production planning. This happened to us a few times on this particular production. However, in faith, we pray and move forward with our plans to complete the scheduled scenes. And at the last possible minute, God provides a much better actor than we previously had and a location better suited for the film. If we are just faithful for our part of the production, God will provide everything and everyone we need to create these films for His glory.
Now that our production is complete, we're back in our Create International studio in Chiang Mai. We're going to be editing the film for the next few months. Since we've made this film in a language that we don't understand, we've made sure that the cultural advisor has checked every one of the lines that the actors did, and we keep a meticulous script log that will help us as we edit to make sure that every line we use is correct. Once we finish a rough cut of the film, we send a copy over to the project partners. They'll tell us if any adjustments need to be made, and we'll make corrections, send it back to them. That cycle will happen a few times until we've got the final product.
This Southern Thai film is months away from distribution. However, we recently had the privilege of releasing a film for Buddhists in Northern Thailand. This people group of 7 million doesn't have the Bible translated in their language yet, and it may be 20 years before it's complete. But they now have their own indigenous gospel film. Lights dim, and the strumming of their indigenous music fades in, familiar to the ears of our Northern Thai audience. On a cool October night, around 200 people gather to hear and see a dramatic movie filmed right in their community. Throughout the film showing, we watch as the audience laughs at the appropriate humor, yet thoughtfully ponders the message of the Creator God and His words of hope. The film, entitled When the Storm Comes, is very appropriate to the current situation in Thailand, now facing what has been called the flood of the century. The Thai people are desperate for hope, and we know the God of hope by name. After the screening, one despondent man, moved by the message, asks for prayer and decides to give his life back to the Lord. At the next screening, another 13 Buddhist families sign up to receive prayer, and they will be followed up by home visits from local YWAM teams. Thousands of copies of this film are now being distributed all over Thailand.
The Northern Thai movie has created an opportunity for short-term teams and long-termers to unite together in reaping the harvest. That every village will unite and come around this movie, watch the movie, hear the gospel, and see churches planted. I want to train everybody how to share their faith and start discipleship groups. But sometimes you just need that kickstart. And to have a movie theater in a village, people are just going to be like, wow, that's amazing. Let's go. Let's be part of that. It's something exciting, but at the same time, it's something essential.
Now that you've had a sneak peek into our cross-cultural production cycle, won't you consider partnering with us to complete this task? Join us. Get involved. Our hope is to produce an indigenous evangelistic film for each of the unreached mega people groups by 2020. We call this initiative the 2020 Vision. Please join us for training in cross-cultural filmmaking and help us create a film for them in their own language. Rejoice as you witness how God uses you to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to the least reached peoples in the world.